Welcome back to trigonometry. Now, we want to prove the three trigonometry identities. We have three trigonometry identities and we want to prove them. Now, the first one will be starting with prove that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equals to 1. Please, all these formulas that we're proving in trigonometry, that we're writing in trigonometry, make sure you know it offhand because they are also useful in another area. It can be useful in differentiation because the same thing you can say sine square x plus cos square x is equals to 1. So, but let's just first prove it and see if sine square theta plus cos square theta will be equals to 1. Will be equals to 1. Now, we're told to prove that sine square theta plus cos square theta equals to 1. Now, the first thing we have to do from the right angle triangle we did, let's just write it out. We said here is A, here is B, here is C. So, this side is small a, here is small b, here is small c, right? So, now, we said okay, let's say here was theta and we said sine theta is what? B over a. Sine is B over a. Now we want to prove that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equals to 1, right? So now what is our sine theta? Don't forget that sine theta from here, sine theta is what? B over a. Y cos theta is what? C over a, right? Then what is our sine theta? So sine theta will be what? B over a. But they said square, sine square theta. So that's B over a or square. So we are picking only this left hand side first. Plus, what's our cos theta? That's C over A or square. So everything we do on this left hand side must be equals to 1 that is on the right hand side. Now here will be what? It will give us B square over A square. It's just like you take your own power, you take your own power. Then plus C square over A square. So what do? We do the LCM, right? So what's our LCM? Our LCM is A square. So A square in A square is 1. 1 times B square will give us B square. Then plus A square in A square is 1. 1 times C square is going to give us C square. So recall, from Pythagoras theorem, we said Pythagoras theorem is what? Pythagoras theorem is the hypotenuse square equals to what? The opposite square plus adjacent square. What's our hypotenuse here? That's A square equals to B square plus C square, right? So recall that what? A square is equals to what? Is equals to B square plus C square, right? So when you recall that A square is equals to B square plus B square plus C square, then what is this B square plus C square? Now it has become what? A square, then over what? A square, and it's going to be equals to 1. It's going to be equals to 1. Do you understand? So it is actually true. See, so this is one of the first trigonometry identities. This is one of the first trigonometry identities. Sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equals to 1. If you have to make sine squared theta the sort of formula, sine squared theta will be equals to what? 1 minus cos squared theta. And if you are also to make cos squared theta the sort of formula, that will be 1 minus sine squared theta. Do you understand?